Welcome to RankLens. Today, we count down the top 10 most audacious space missions that defied the odds. Space exploration isn't just about ambition, it's about defying everything that says, "Don't go." From crushing vacuum to impossibly cold distances, from hardware that fails in ways engineers never imagined to orbits nobody's charted before, humanity has sent machine and flesh into the cosmos. And some of these missions didn't just push boundaries, they shattered them. Today, we're counting down history's 10 most audacious space missions, the ones that took the biggest risks, overcame the most staggering odds, and delivered the most transformative payoff. So stick around as we count down to number 1, an entry that might surprise you. At number 10, Apollo 13. This mission ranks here not for groundbreaking science, it delivered almost none, but for sheer obstacle severity. An oxygen tank explosion crippled the spacecraft roughly 2,000 miles from Earth. The crew faced a dead command module, dwindling air, and seemingly no way home. Mission Control and the astronauts improvised a carbon dioxide scrubber using only materials aboard. They converted the lunar module, Aquarius, into an unplanned lifeboat. Every system was repurposed, every ounce of power rationed, every decision made on a knife's edge. The lunar module was never designed to support 3 men for the journey back, yet it did. Against impossible odds, all 3 astronauts returned safely. Apollo 13 didn't achieve its science goal, but it showcased what human ingenuity looks like when the alternative is death. At number 9, the Mars Opportunity Rover. Designed for 90 days, this solar-powered rover became the most durable mission in Mars history. It drove nearly 45 kilometers across the Martian landscape over 15 years, far beyond every expectation. Opportunity confirmed something revolutionary. Liquid water once flowed on Mars. Its instruments found iron-rich minerals and chemical signatures that only liquid water creates. That discovery reframed Mars from a dead rock to a potentially habitable world. Longevity came at a price. In 2018, a planet-wide dust storm blanketed the red planet, starving Opportunity's solar panels of sunlight. The rover lost power, systems went silent, and Opportunity never woke up. It was gone, but not before proving that Mars wasn't always the frozen desert we see today. At number 8, Hayabusa. This Japanese spacecraft was supposed to be straightforward, fly to an asteroid, grab a sample, and return home. Instead, it became a masterclass in survival and engineering improvisation. Hayabusa suffered an engine failure, then a fuel leak, then a communications blackout. Each failure should have ended the mission. But engineers rerouted power from failed thrusters to keep the crippled spacecraft on course. They worked in the dark, without real-time communication, nursing a dying probe through the void. And then, impossibly, Hayabusa limped home. In 2010, it returned to Earth, carrying the first asteroid samples ever collected from space. Those particles weren't just rocks. They revealed the mineral composition of our solar system's primordial past. Hayabusa succeeded not because it was invincible, but because it was broken and still wouldn't quit. At number 7, New Horizons. For 9 years, this spacecraft hurtled toward the edge of our solar system on a collision course with mystery. New Horizons was among the fastest spacecraft ever launched, departing Earth at record speed. It threaded its way across 5 billion kilometers of space at a velocity of 14 kilometers per second, nearly 5,000 kilometers per hour. When it finally reached Pluto, a world that seemed nothing more than a cold, inert point of light, the data stunned us. Pluto wasn't dead. It hosted towering water ice mountains and a vast nitrogen ice plain stretching across its surface. The radio signals transmitting those images took more than 4 hours just to reach Earth. New Horizons proved that the outer edges of our planetary neighborhood still held secrets worth 5 billion kilometer journeys to uncover. At number 6, Rosetta and Philae. For 10 years, the Rosetta spacecraft pursued Comet 67P through the solar system, using 4 gravity-assist flybys to gain speed and alter course. That patience paid off when Rosetta finally rendezvoused with the comet. The real audacity came next. Philae would attempt humanity's first landing on a comet, a moving mountain of ice and rock. Philae separated from Rosetta and descended toward the surface, but its anchoring harpoons failed to fire. The lander bounced across the icy terrain before settling in shadow. The mission seemed doomed. Yet even from the shadows, Philae's instruments detected something profound: organic molecules, the chemical building blocks of life, frozen in the comet itself. Those findings revealed that the seeds of life might have traveled to Earth aboard comets billions of years ago. At number 5, the Hubble Space Telescope. When Hubble launched in 1990, it was supposed to revolutionize astronomy. Instead, its flawed mirror blurred every image into uselessness. The 1.5 billion mission was a failure. But then, astronauts decided to rescue it. In 1993, spacewalkers rendezvoused with Hubble and installed corrective optics, essentially contact lenses for a telescope. Suddenly, the images cleared. Hubble became history's most productive telescope, and the fix that saved it became one of spaceflight's greatest achievements. Hubble's observations helped scientists determine the age of the universe with unprecedented precision. Its data revealed that the universe's expansion is accelerating, a discovery that won a Nobel Prize. Hubble transformed from failure into triumph, proving that sometimes the greatest missions are the ones that refuse to stay broken. At number 4, Cassini-Huygens. For 20 years, the Cassini spacecraft orbited Saturn, making nearly 300 close approaches. It carried Huygens, a lander designed for the impossible, a soft landing on Titan through an orange alien atmosphere. Huygens descended through Titan's clouds and achieved the first soft landing in the outer solar system. The images it sent back showed methane lakes, entire oceans of liquid on an alien world. But Cassini's greatest discovery came earlier: active water ice geysers erupting from Saturn's moon, Enceladus. Those plumes suggested a subsurface ocean, a place where life might exist. The mission ended deliberately, with Cassini plunging into Saturn's atmosphere to avoid contaminating its moons. That deliberate sacrifice was the final act of an audacious mission that spent 2 decades rewriting our understanding of the outer solar system. At number 3, the James Webb Space Telescope. Webb required 34 single points of failure, each capable of dooming the mission. An unfurled sunshield, 18 mirror segments deploying perfectly, cameras cooled to 233 degrees below zero. Every component had to work flawlessly the first time. No second chances, no repairs. Webb autonomously deployed its 18 gold-coated mirror segments and 5-layer sunshield after launch, unfolding like origami in space. It traveled nearly 1.5 million kilometers to the second Lagrange point, a gravitational sweet spot where it could observe the early universe without interference. Its primary mirror is more than twice Hubble's diameter. And it worked. Every single point of failure succeeded. Webb is now rewriting cosmology, revealing exoplanet atmospheres and glimpsing the universe's first galaxies. It's a mission so audacious that success itself feels miraculous. At number 2, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2. In 1977, both probes launched to explore the outer planets. But here's what made them audacious. They exploited a planetary alignment recurring only once every 176 years. Engineers had to act then or wait 2 centuries. The Voyagers. Gravity slingshot from planet to planet, Jupiter to Saturn to Uranus to Neptune, gathering momentum with each swing. Voyager 2 remains the only spacecraft to visit all 4 outer planets. Voyager 1 swung by Saturn and accelerated outward toward interstellar space. Decades later, both probes still transmit science data from beyond our solar system. Voyager 1 is the most distant human-made object ever launched. Signals take 22 hours to reach Earth, yet they arrive, carrying data from probes that should have been silent long ago. The Voyagers represent audacity, the decision to seize a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and send humanity's ambassadors to the stars. At number 1, Apollo 11. In 1961, President Kennedy pledged to land humans on the moon by decade's end, a goal experts called impossible. Apollo 11 took flight in 1969. The lunar module's guidance computer had the power of a modern pocket calculator. Armstrong and Aldrin were landing on terrain they'd never seen, with virtually no margin for error. The ascent engine had to fire perfectly, or they'd be stranded on the moon. Armstrong manually piloted the lander toward the surface, fuel running dangerously low, alarms screaming. Then, silence. The Eagle had landed. Armstrong and Aldrin spent just over 2 hours walking on the lunar surface, collecting samples and planting humanity's flag on an alien world. Apollo 11 wasn't the most technically complex mission, but it was the boldest. It fulfilled the most audacious goal ever set, and it changed humanity forever. These 10 missions weren't just scientific achievements, they redefined what's possible. They showed us that obstacles don't determine the outcome, willingness does. Each mission faced moments where failures seemed inevitable. Engine failures, mirror flaws, dust storms, communications blackouts. Yet every single one persevered. They revealed liquid water on Mars. They proved that life's building blocks float in comets. They captured the universe's deep history. They sent humans to the moon and robotic ambassadors beyond the solar system. The lesson is clear: audacity isn't reckless. It's the decision to embrace impossible odds and push forward anyway. When you refuse to quit even when the universe seems determined to stop you, miracles happen. These missions prove that the greatest achievements aren't the ones that succeed effortlessly. They're the ones that overcome everything trying to break them. And that's the top 10 most audacious space missions that defied the odds. If you enjoyed this countdown, subscribe to RankLens for more.